That for us this morning. He's joining us once again from Washington, D.C. Joe, the latest on this hearing, you just spoke to the Secretary of Transportation, Pete Buttigieg. What did he have to say?
Yeah, Marnie, Secretary Buttigieg was here testifying before a Senate committee just moments ago, stepping out, and we caught up with him. In his opening statement, he said something about corporations and large companies within the travel industry. He says they've consolidated power over the last couple of years and have disinvested in things like safety. So we asked him if he's talking about companies like Norfolk Southern. He didn't name them directly. We put that question to him and said, why not just call them out? And he did. Here's what he told us. Your opening statement, you talked about how there are some within certain industries that are concentrating power and are not investing in safety, but are disinvesting. I'm wondering, when we think about a company like Norfolk Southern, is that what you're talking about? You didn't name them directly.
Well, we've seen this pattern in every sector. Airlines, ocean shipping, and freight rail. But yeah, I'm definitely concerned about how a small number of very big firms in freight rail have thrown their weight around this town in order to get safety legislation and safety regulation stopped, watered down, or reversed. But right now, there's an opportunity to raise the bar.
An opportunity to raise the bar, he said, referencing some of the efforts that are going on here on Capitol Hill. Marty, you mentioned just yesterday, we did hear again from the CEO of Norfolk Southern making a number of promises to the people of East Palestine about what they're doing right now and what they're going to continue to do to support that community. But it was a pretty emotional hearing. We also heard from a mother who lives in East Palestine. She talked about her concerns for the long-term health and well-being of not just her family, not just her children, but her entire community. And I want to lay out exactly what she said here. She articulated, again, in pretty emotional and stark terms, what her concerns are.
When burned, these chemicals never go away. Chemicals such as dioxins, which are not safe at any level and cause damage that may not show up for years. 2 days later, our government told us it was safe to come home. But is it safe? People and animals in my community are sick.
So Norfolk Southern CEO Alan Shaw had to respond directly to people like that mother who were right next to him talking about what her concerns are. Alan Shaw did say that it's not just the response, it's not just money, but he talked about setting up long-term health initiatives where Norfolk Southern might pick up the medical bills of people if they do have long-term issues. And he also talked about protecting people's home values. There's a lot of concern among people we've spoken to in East Palestine that even if they wanted to move out, they couldn't. Who is going to come and buy their homes right now? East Palestine isn't exactly a place where a number of folks are running to rush and buy up businesses or buy homes. So that home value issue is a serious one for a lot of families. And he said he's going to be addressing that, too. I think, Marty, it's going to be our job here as reporters who've been on this story to hold him accountable to what he's saying and what he's promising to the people of East Palestine.
Indeed, Joe. Some in Congress also working to pass that rail safety bill. What's the status of that? What did Secretary Buttigieg say?
Yeah, I thought it was really interesting. He said that not only does he endorse that bill, he says there are a lot of things in there that would make rail safer, but he also actually told us, and I think this is new, that his agency is going to be looking at some of what's in the bill, seeing if they can just implement it without having Congress pass it. He said there are things like making sure that there is a mandatory minimum of 2 people on every single rail crew. He said that may increase some safety, and he says that's not an unreasonable ask for the Transportation Department to take a look at as well. So clearly endorsing the bill, hoping that Norfolk Southern also gets behind it, but seeing from an executive level here what they can do to try to implement some of those things as well.
All right, keeping our eye on all of it. Joe Khalil, thank you. Coming up next, a new study